There are not many improvements the Buffalo Bills need to make to get over the Super Bowl hump, but I think that Brandon Beane, with another late-round draft selection, might have made that needle-moving move with the selection of tight end Jackson Hawes, who changes everything for the Buffalo Bills offense and specifically their run game. Jackson Hawes, in the first 2 weeks of the 2025 season, his first 2 NFL appearances, he is the highest-graded Buffalo Bills offensive player in back-to-back weeks. And his run block grades were phenomenal as well. 73.9 in week 1 against Baltimore and a 79.8 in week 2 against the New York Jets. 30 of his 35 snaps were in run blocking situations. And the Bills, they're in a good spot with Jackson Hawes along the line of scrimmage. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We'll talk more Jackson Hawes in just a moment. But I got to let you guys know that we will be live for Thursday Night Football. Bills versus Dolphins could put the nail in the coffin of Mike McDaniel's Dolphins career. So join us on Thursday night, 6:30 Eastern Time. We will be live with a pregame tailgate. We'll also provide free play-by-play, highlights, stats, analysis, and so much more. Join all the Bills fans that will be tuning in with us for Bills versus Dolphins on Thursday night right here on the Bills Breakdown. All right, the Bills at this point in time rank with 13.9 expected points added rushing in 2025. They've been a top 3 team in EPA per rush over the past 5 seasons. A very successful team in the run game due to the fact that they have a weapon at the quarterback spot with Josh Allen. He really just elevates the floor, and specifically statistically, of their run game over the past 5 seasons or so. And they're also one of the most successful teams in the NFL rushing the football so far. They have a 50% success rate in 2025. They also have ranked top 4 in rushing success over the last 4 years percentage-wise. But these aren't like new statistics or anything like that. These aren't anything new to the Bills. Their run defense or the run offense this year has been awesome, and it has been over the last couple of years because Josh Allen and James Cook have been so great. But what's been different this season as for different than years past where the Bills have ranked so highly with their rushing statistics? The difference is in those past years, the Bills have not faced nearly as many stacked boxes as they have in the first 2 weeks of this season. In 2025, Buffalo is facing the 4th most stacked boxes in the National Football League with a 36.0 percentage. I mean, just look at this against the New York Jets. And yeah, to be fair, the Bills are running a bunch of heavy sets and stuff like that, but they're facing 8-9 defenders in the box a whole heck of a lot because they know how big of a weapon Josh Allen is with his legs. They know how good of an offensive line that the Bills have, so they have to get extra pressure and extra guys near the line of scrimmage to, just disrupt whatever the Bills are trying to do. But the Bills really do not care. They have all this success and all these expected points added against these stacked boxes. They literally see the defenses lining up to stop the run, and they just do not care. They're going to pound that ball down your throat anyways. And a big reason why is Jackson Hawes. I got this tweet all across my timeline from Patrick Moran. Shout out to him for giving this insight. He said, Jackson Hawes is such a good blocking tight end that the Bills are clearly getting away from their 6 offensive lineman jumbo packages that they used for the past few years. A huge difference that makes the Bills' offense so much more less predictable. He said Alec Anderson only played 2 snaps in that package against the Jets. It's been Hawes who obviously makes that package less predictable. This is awesome because it just makes everybody's life so much easier. When the defense can't tell what you're doing because you have an extra tight end that is an athlete and can make plays with the ball in his hands, they have no idea what you're doing, and the Bills can give you run or pass and just have that extra leg up before the ball is even snapped. A couple of highlights from week 2 here from Hawes that I was doing the All-22 film and watching him. He pancaked a defender on a Ty Johnson run that went for about 7 yards. He sealed a defender off on that James Cook 44-yard touchdown, remained engaged on that block, and he also stayed engaged on another James Cook run that went for 14 yards that wasn't even to his side of the field. Cook ended up running to the left side, and it ended up kind of being muddied over there at the line of scrimmage, so he made a cutback, but Hawes was still engaged with his blocker on the right edge that he had a big enough hole for Cook to bust another 10-plus yard run. That was awesome to see Hawes here, and that's kind of what I've noticed through all of his run block reps, whether it was a super successful run play or not. Jackson Hawes does such a great job at staying engaged with his blockers, driving them forward, playing through the whistle. I just love to see that in a guy who is so new to the NFL. He just has that dog in him, and honestly, it's trickling down to the rest of the talent in that tight end room. And if Jackson Hawes also gets beat, he is just such a high IQ player that he uses that to his advantage. He doesn't give up in these situations. I saw a couple of snaps in week 2 where he would get beat off the line of scrimmage, but he would try to he would chase and reposition himself, and by the time that the running back was passing him, he would have the defender already sealed off. So this is a guy who plays with 110% intensity every single play, and guess what? Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, his coaching staff, they're taking notice of it. Here's what he had to say. I think he's so intelligent that he can handle a lot on his plate, and he doesn't get fazed by anything. His ability to process it all and play fast, it's everything why we drafted him. Joe Brady also said before the season began that Jackson Hawes is the best blocking tight end that we've ever evaluated. So, fantastic news for Bills fans here that they just have another element that makes this offense even more dangerous. And like I said, Jackson Hawes is kind of just inspiring the rest of this tight end room that historically has not been the best in run block situations. Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid have been receiving tight ends for most of their career, but for the first 2 weeks of this season, we're already seeing them take massive leaps in the blocking department. Kincaid specifically on that Elijah Moore touchdown yesterday, awesome stuff. And I saw some good stuff in week 1 from him in that department as well. It also helps for Jackson Hawes being an X factor for this Bills offense when he is an athlete who we saw in the preseason catch a couple of screens and make a couple of moves, get some first downs for the Bills in open space. Oh, and he could also make contested catches, 30-yard grabs against the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best secondaries in the National Football League, getting down to the goal line and helping the Bills punch in a touchdown. So I love Jackson Hawes and this ability to be super effective in the run game and have all these ancillary effects to the offense as well makes everything easier for number 17. This is a trickle-down effect, not only the tight ends and their blocking, but also just Josh Allen. When you can make this offense unpredictable, and you can, keep the defense on their toes and keep them guessing as to what you're going to do, and you're already such an effective offense with such a great quarterback, I mean, life is going to be really, really easy for the Buffalo Bills on offense this year. They're going to score a lot of points, and they have a lot of different ways they can go out there and do it. Show some love to Jackson Hawes, the rookie tight end. Give him props. Maybe he'll see this video. Maybe his family will see this video. Show them that we love him. Give him an 85 down in the comment section to show your support that we got this Bills new tight end. We got his back. Alrighty, next, this Bills player that we'll talk about continues to be disrespected by the media, by the public, by casual fans. We're going to tell you why in just a moment. But first, get hooked up with our sponsor on the program, and that is Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right and where it's good to win up to 2,000 times your money watching your Buffalo Bills this upcoming season. It's daily fantasy made easy. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. And Prize Picks always wants to make it easier for you guys to do so. Like awesome offers, like a free $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup, but you got to use our promo code CLNS to do it. If you guys want to see my lineup for week 3, Thursday Night Football, it goes as follows. Devon Achane, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. He gets into the paint every time against the Bills, but I think the Bills are going to have a big win. Josh Allen, more than 232.5 passing yards, and then Keon Coleman's going to be the recipient of at least 44.5 receiving yards. You can tell my picks or fade them. Just do it at Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. As good as Jackson Hawes is, as good as the whole Bills front is on the offensive line, James Cook deserves a lot of credit here, and I feel like he continues to be disrespected by the media, by people playing fantasy football, by casual football fans. This guy is legit, man. He's a top 10 running back in this league, no doubts about it. A buck 76 through the first 2 games of the season. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry, something that he continuously does in his NFL career. 3 touchdowns on the ground, leading the NFL, and had that 44-yard burst for a score against the New York Jets. There aren't a lot of players that have the big play ability like James Cook does. And through 2 weeks, he's already ranking at the top of the NFL in so many big categories, like those yards on the ground. He's top 4 at the running back position. Oh, yeah, he's 7th in yards per carry as well, one of the most efficient backs in the league. Rushing yards over expected. He ranks 3rd in RYOE with 39. Also, I believe he ranks 4th in rushing yards over expected per carry, so he's efficient, no doubt about it. Oh, he's also 4th in rushing EPA and EPA per rush, and he's also 4th in success while facing the 2nd most stacked boxes in the National Football League among qualified running backs. This guy just makes plays. This guy does better than what is expected, and the Bills have him on an awesome, awesome discount. He's also number 7 in yards after contact. So good blocking, blocking, Doesn't matter. James Cook is going to shed tacklers, and he's going to make big plays for the Bills on the offensive side of the football. He is no doubt in my mind the second most important piece to this Bills offense. Yes, Deion Dawkins is great. Yes, the Bills offensive line as a unit is great. But there is no more effective and explosive weapon in this Bills offense than number 4, James Cook. And like I mentioned with the fantasy haters out there, yeah, James Cook is still getting in the end zone at the clip that he was last year. Look at this. James Cook drop kicking the spreadsheet nerds right in the face through the first 2 games. Shout out Matthew Betts for this stat. In 2024, 18 total touchdowns on 239 touches, 7.5%. Oh, look at this, 2025. We have 3 touchdowns on 40 touches, 7.5%. He is currently the number 1 running back in fantasy. If you're a Bills fan and you got Cook on your squad, I'm sure you're a happy man. And I think you're a happy man because this isn't going to hurt the Bills on the books at all, really, over the next couple of years, man. A 4-year, $46 million contract, not even $12 million a season. That ranks 7th in the NFL at this point, but there are some guys that have yet to get paid. There's some guys on rookie contracts. There's some guys on really cheap rookie contracts because, late-round running back values, they can absolutely take a team over the top. In total guaranteed money, it is 3rd in the NFL right now, but again, there's guys that have yet to be paid. There's guys late in their contracts on some big money, so take that with a grain of salt. His cap hit, this is the big kicker for me. His cap hit is below $10 million until 2027. And 2027 and 2028, yeah, they're over $10 million. But then after that, they're all the way down to $1 million. So, this is only 2 years of seeing a real big cap hit impact on this James Cook contract, and it doesn't even come for 2 more seasons after this one. So, I'm fired up about this James Cook deal and the effectiveness that he has in the run game for Buffalo. And I think he's only going to get better here as he has every year of his career so far. And like I mentioned, there's guys that have yet to be paid at his position. And, to be fair, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, you could argue all 3 of those guys are better. I'd say Chase Brown's in that same tier as James Cook here. And all these guys are going to have more on their average annual value than James Cook on their next contract. So he'll end up being somewhere around the 11th, 12th highest paid running back on average annual value. Yeah, I think it's a really, really good spot to be in if you're the Buffalo Bills. Look, I think James Cook will look like a bargain if he remains productive. I do want to see him, get past, the just over 1,000 yards threshold. I would love to see him get to that 1,200, maybe a 1,300 yard season, but it doesn't really matter individual statistics. There's one goal with this Buffalo Bills team. Josh Allen knows it. James Cook knows it. Every playmaker on this team knows it. And that's lifting the Lombardi Trophy. If individual statistics don't matter, James Cook got his payday, and everything after that is just a cherry on top. And hopefully that cherry on top that we get at the end of the season will be a Lombardi Trophy. Fill in the blank for me down in the comment section. James Cook is a top blank running back in the National Football League. I want to know what you guys think. Is he top 10? I think he is. He's an absolute playmaker out there with big playability. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. That will do it for today's edition of the Bills Breakdown. Give me a follow over on Twitter at Tyler J. Smith. 2 H's because the name's common, but I am not. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We'll be live on the channel for Bills versus Dolphins on Thursday night. I hope to see you guys there. If you are going to be there, comment down below, real one, and I'll be hearting and replying to all those comments. We'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, let's go, Buffalo.